All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into this one. This is the Wooden Wick Co Cocoa Apricot Cream. Now the details on this one is we're gonna heat this one up to in between 180, 190 degrees Fahrenheit or between 82 and 80 degrees Celsius. And then we're going to add our oils right about 9 to 10% in this wax. We're gonna add that probably right around like 170, let it cool down just a little bit, right around like 75 degrees Celsius, and then we'll go ahead and pour into the same container that we did with the coconut soy. And then for that one, we're gonna be using the crackling wick with the booster, and this one is gonna be the 0.625. Now just jumping into this wax, it's along the same lines. It actually seems a little bit more stiff than the coconut soy. I actually like that quite a bit, but with the paint scraper or the ice cream scoop that I use, it's just gonna pop right through that. So that actually cuts really nice and easy to go through. You can see on that one, as you start getting thinner, it gets a little softer, bends apart real easy. You can definitely squeeze that and go right through it. But in the brick form like that, it's actually nice and solid. Should get real nice glass adhesion with this one, but we're gonna go ahead and weigh this out, and we're gonna go ahead and melt it down, add the oil, and then we're gonna go ahead and pour this into the container. And then of course we're gonna pour it into a couple clamshells as well as shot cups just to see what it looks like for melts. All right, for this one, I went ahead and weighed out. We're right at 15.9. Just gonna put a little bit more in there, get that up to, okay, so 16 ounces exactly. Got the wax in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and melt this down. All right, so for the oil with this one, we're gonna go ahead and add right at 9%. It holds 10%. We're gonna go under just a little bit, and this oil is really full, so I'm gonna pour it in here just a little bit. So it's 0.7, and it's spilling everywhere, so that's awesome. So 1.3, I'm gonna go ahead and put like right around actually I'm gonna leave it at 1.3. 1.3 ounces for this wax should be pretty good. And we're gonna go ahead and add that to 16 ounces of wax. All right, so I've got everything pulled out. The wax is fully melted. It's dropping down to about 175, 170. I'm gonna go ahead and add the oil. And again, I did 1.3 ounces to 16 ounces of wax. So dropped it down from the 10% just a little bit. 10% for me in most waxes is usually a little bit of overkill. And again, this one is the maple chai sweet cream. This actually smells really nice. It's nice and strong. That way when we actually test and burn the candles, the melts, you're gonna be able to tell this one the second you walk into a room, so you'll know exactly how strong the hot throw is. And then we're gonna go ahead and pour. And we're just doing melts on this one just to see what it looks like in a clamshell, because somebody always asks. And then a melt in the bigger clamshell, or the bigger tart or wax shot cups. because again, almost all waxes work really well in these. So I always like to do a couple of those just to see how the hot throw is for melts. And again, somebody always asks. So we're gonna go ahead and let these cool down, and then we'll talk about the wax, and then we'll do some test burns. Okay, we're pretty much done with these. These have been cooling for a couple hours now. No dips, no sinkholes. I mean, the top on that is absolutely beautiful. I really like that. What I'm gonna do with that one is the same thing I did with the other one. I'm gonna cut that down to size, and then I'm just gonna drop that down in there so that I can do a test burn on that one. Now with this one, you can definitely see that the clamshell is really soft. These definitely aren't made for clamshells, and they even say that on the website, so that was nothing new. I just wanted to see what it would look like. But you can see it pops out of there somewhat clean. I mean, if this was given another day to actually cure and harden up just a little bit more, that's actually not too bad for a clamshell. Pops out somewhat easy. I mean, you get a little bit of a mess on your hands, but it's not too bad at all. Whereas the wax cups, I mean, those are just gonna pop right out. And again, you're just dropping those right into a melter, so that's actually not bad at all. Definitely very soft, but again, not meant for melts, but it would work for melts. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one down. Drop that right down into the middle. And then once that hardens up a little bit more, I'm gonna go ahead and burn that one, and we'll see what the hot throw is like. All right, so that's pretty much it with part one of this one. I just wanted to get it out, look at the wax, kind of cut through it, see how it looks when you cut it, see how it feels when you cut it, and then of course heat it up. I'm basically gonna go through and do the exact same thing that I do with all waxes. Heat this one up, we put it into clamshells, we put it into melts, put it into the candle. I'm gonna do a few more vessels with a couple different scents, not only Wooden Wick Co, but I'm gonna use a couple other suppliers also, just to see how the different oils kind of react and how they work with the wax. And then of course I'm gonna test it with a couple different cotton wicks, hemp wicks, CD wicks, a couple different ones just to see what works well. I'm sticking with the wooden wicks because I know that they work really well with this wax, so I'm definitely curious to see how this one burns tomorrow. The throw just inside this room right now, just from adding the wax, adding the oil to the wax and kind of heating it up, it smells really nice, very strong, very good smelling scent. So I'm definitely curious and excited to see how this burns and how well it throws tomorrow. And then of course I'm going to use a couple different vessels that will actually show a little bit better for glass adhesion, going into the green vessel that I've used right here. You really can't see the glass adhesion. That's why I like some containers like that, because it really hides a lot of stuff. But this wax is a little bit softer, and it's known to have good glass adhesion or wet spots, whatever you want to call it. So we'll go ahead and melt that wax into a couple different containers just to see what it looks like there. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions about this wax or anything you'd like to see in the follow-up videos to this one, please let me know in the comments down below. Try to go through and answer every single one, and then of course try to add those suggestions to the next couple videos, just so that we can get like a real good overview and maybe cover something that I'm not thinking of. And then of course I do have links to all of the Wooden Wick Co's supplies that I used here today, the waxes, the wicks, the vessels, anything like that is listed in the video description down below. So definitely jump over there, check them out. And of course you can follow me on any of the social media platforms that I've listed down below as well: Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, my website, and my email address if you want to reach out. And please feel free to ask me anything. I don't shy away from questions or anything like that. I try to go through and answer everything in the comments down below, but it can definitely get overwhelming now. Email is definitely the best way to get a hold of me, because I go through and try to get to every single one of them. And then of course, definitely jump over into the DIY Facebook group, which is still growing like crazy. And this video, this conversation, this wax is definitely deeper and further discussed in that group. So definitely jump over there. There's a lot of people that have been using this wax for a while, and they can tell you some things that I just can't yet. because I'm just now starting to work with this. So if you have other questions, the group is a great place to go to get a bunch of stuff answered and find out some different tips from a lot of different people. And of course, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.